One more good morning. Good morning. I am Charlotte Reese. I use all pronouns, and I'd like to welcome you to Bucksmont Unitarian Universalists' multi-platform worship service, where, moved by love, we share lifelong journeys of growth, wonder, and healing, nurturing wholeness in society and spirit, creating a community of justice and compassion. I'd like to give a welcome to everyone joining us online and in person today, members, friends, and those who may be newcomers to our community this morning. As we begin our service, please take a moment to silence your cell phones. If you are new to Bucksmont and visiting us in person today, please stop by our Visitors Center in the front hallway near where you came in. There, you can also make a name tag for yourself and find more information about Unitarian Universalism, Bucksmont Fellowship, and upcoming events. If you'd like a hymnal or a printed order of service, those are available near the entrance to the sanctuary. If you are visiting us online or prefer digital methods, please email our office administrator, Beverly, to sign up for our email newsletter and to get connected to our congregation. You may also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bucksmont UU. Each week in our service, we offer time for people to share a joy or sorrow from their lives by texting a phone number. That number is shared on screen for everyone now and will be again later in the service. If you would like to see the order of service, details about upcoming services, and other ways to gather with our community, you can find that on the homepage of our website, www.bucksmont.uu. There's a lot happening at Bucksmont, and we'd like to highlight these announcements in particular. Please plan to attend our annual congregational meeting after the service next week on June 9th, here in the sanctuary and on Zoom. The meeting notice has been sent to all Bucksmont members. Lunch will be available during coffee hour, and childcare is available. T-shirt Sunday, June 9th. Come to Sunday service wearing your new Bucksmont UU t-shirt and wear it proudly at the annual meeting. Show your support, solidarity, and love for Bucksmont and for one another. T-shirts will be on sale today after the service. Come join us at another game and movie night with a space theme on June 9th starting at 5 p.m. There will be 2 movies shown and games all night. Please see the eVoice for more details. The member congregations of Power Bucks are working together this summer to support the Interfaith Food Alliance Food Pantry in Morrisville, PA. This worthy program focuses on providing supplement food to Morrisville School District families identified as food insecure. Please help by bringing canned goods to the fellowship through July 5th. Together with other congregations, we can have a big impact. See Melissa Egbertson or Pat Lathrop for more info. Whether you are a guest, friend, or member, we are glad you are a part of our worship service today.
I am Reverend Kevin Jago, and I respond best to he, him pronouns. This morning's call to worship is in honor of Pride Month and the generations that have made today possible, with words adapted from my colleague, Reverend Otto O'Connor. On a holy night in 1969, in an inn, also known as a bar, called the Stonewall Inn, a basement which had no running water nor safe fire exits, queer people and of many colors and kinds danced together, for it was the only place where they were allowed to dance, at least permitted to by the mafia who ran the inn. In those days, it was common for the police to frequent this inn, not to join in the dance, the underground celebration, but to send the dancers home and make arrests. When they would arrive, the lights would go on, the people would be lined up, and then all those in drag, all those who were trans, all those without proper identification, they were arrested and taken into custody. But on this holy night, that early morning of June 28th, 1969, the people said, "Not tonight." As they called to them to line up, the trans women refused to go. And as the police began to beat and arrest them, as the people spilled out from the bar onto the street, Christopher Street, a crowd grew to watch. And then, as trans women, lesbians, and gay men were getting arrested, a yell came from the crowd, "Gay power." And as a trans woman was shoved, she shoved back, and the crowd began throwing bottles at the wagon. And suddenly, it erupted. For once, the people didn't line up. For once, the people said, "No more. We've had enough." It was almost as if, that night, being pulled out of the darkness of the underground at Stonewall Inn, one too many times, they said, "I'm ready to be seen." On this holy night, when the power of the oppressed rippled through the streets of New York, when queer people said, "No more," our world would never be the same. 55 years ago, it was illegal to be gay, to be trans, to dance and to love and to celebrate. And now, only 55 years later, here we are celebrating in our religious home. Gay and straight together, queer and straight together, trans and cis together, all in this together. And so as we hear these stories of life and love and defiance and celebration, let us also remember and pay tribute to our movement ancestors, many of them trans women of color, who led the first rebellion that night. You see, Pride is a celebration of that anniversary, the anniversary of that riot at the Stonewall Inn in New York City, a holy night. So happy Pride. Welcome to this joyful celebration. Bring your whole selves, your gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer selves, your drag queen, butch and femme, genderqueer, gender fluid, agender, pansexual, and all the other identities that are and will be. And let's have a celebration. Let us begin.
This morning, as we do each time we gather, we kindle our Unitarian Universalist chalice. We do so today with words from Linda Lee Franson. We light this flame to ignite our hearts and minds, the spark of knowledge that enlightens, the shimmering hope that burns, the blazing love that engulfs our actions, the bonfire of our commitment. We light this flame for those who celebrate themselves, who fear, who hope, who persevere, who stand on the side of love for all. We light this flame for those who have been ridiculed, that they may find peace, for those who have fought to marry, that they may celebrate, for those who live in uncertainty in the world, that they may have hope. We light this flame to renew our commitment that no one shall ever again suffer for the right to love. We light this flame to celebrate our kaleidoscope of diversity, working, loving, and living on the side of love. For this, we light this flame. Please light your chalice at home. Our common chalice is now lit.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Jennifer Worthington, and I use she, her pronouns. Please join us in body or spirit in singing hymn number 151, I Wish I Knew How. All I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things I can do. Though I'm way overdue, I'd be starting anew. Though I'm way overdue, I'd be starting anew. I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if I found I could fly. I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing 'cause I'd know how it feels to be free. Then I'd sing 'cause I'd know how it feels to be free.
As we begin our new member recognition, I want to share that the 16 folks we are recognizing today have joined our community in the past year, some of whom cannot be here with us in person today, but who we welcome nonetheless. Lynn, Susanna, Jean, Donna, Zena, Dave, Tina, Agnes, Linda, Nisha, Adam, Laura, Matthew, Luba, Cheryl, and Eileen. I invite you to come forward and gather with me up here. If you have littles with you, you are welcome to bring them with, or they can stay and play, whichever works best for you. Gather up, gather up. Come on, come close, it's great. Yeah. Got a few words here? Yeah. Great. Good to have you here. Joyfully, we welcome you to membership in this congregation. We join here in a common consent to help one another in a quest for understanding, inspiration, and fulfillment in community. We share insights from all humankind, but we bid each person to fashion that way of life which makes sense and has meaning in their own heart and mind. We embrace tolerance of one another in our varied approaches to the religious life, and we recognize that each of us contributes to the life of the community. We do not ask of you the abandonment of anything in your past or the surrender of any conviction wrought in your experience. We ask only your support for our common purpose and willingness to share with us some of the richness of your life as we walk this way together. Now I invite the congregation, those assembled in person and those gathering with us online, to read together the congregational words to our new members. We, the members of the Bucksmont Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, welcome you into our covenant of freedom and community. Our fundamental principle is respect for the individual freedom of belief. Membership in this fellowship involves a commitment not to a creed, but to a quest. We unite in this quest to honor the inherent worth of every person, widen and deepen our own capacities as human beings, strengthen one another in our ethical and spiritual growth, support and sustain the community of this fellowship, and to live our beliefs through actions that reflect our understanding of the highest meaning of life. Good job, everyone. Now I invite our new members to read together their response. We joyfully accept your welcome as we enter into membership in this free fellowship. From many places and many backgrounds we have come, and we see many possibilities ahead. With you we will walk in the deep paths of the Spirit, ever searching and ever growing. With you we will celebrate the diversity of these paths. With you we will seek to fulfill and to widen our vision. Me. And now I invite everyone present, in person and online, whether you are a member, friend, newly welcomed member, or someone who arrived for your first service today, to read the next words together. We are here together this day, recognizing the diversity among us, which we will encourage, honoring the affection that generates a sense of community. Next. That's okay. Celebrating a spirit of goodwill and sharing a common commitment to dignity and excellence in human contact. Here we would study and understand truth, deepen our reverence of things wonderful, and strengthen our allegiances to the highest in human achievement. We are many in our varieties of wit and viewpoint. We are one in our quest for wisdom. Here today, we reaffirm our belief in one another, and in being thus together, we share friendship, fellowship, and the call and promise of human expectations. Together we gather, and together we create the rich possibilities of this community, more than any of us could achieve alone. Good job, everyone. We can go to the rest slide. Thank you. Upon the occasion of your recognition as new and returning membership members to our fellowship, we recognize you with similar symbols as we do for our young members when they come of age. A rose with the thorns intact to symbolize that your religious and moral journeys are in your hands, with all the beauty and challenges that entails. We will also be welcoming you with a chalice pin and a brief history of Bucksmont UU Fellowship, edited by our own member, Dina Condren. So our co-chairs, Yvonne and Karen of membership, will hand out our roses. Careful, there are thorns on them. And next, the flaming chalice is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, which we light at the beginning of worship, congregational gatherings, and for rites of passage. Hans Dutch, an Austrian artist, first brought together the chalice and the flame as a Unitarian symbol during World War II. To Hans, the image had connotations of sacrifice and love. Unitarian Universalists today have many different interpretations of the flaming chalice, including the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. And last, the history text is to be one resource for you as you continue your journey with Unitarian Universalism. Those in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam have been referred to as the people of the book, while we Unitarian Universalists, with our love of learning and self-education, have been described as the people of the books. May these gifts remind you of your own journey and your connection to our community and the larger traditions of Unitarian Universalism. On behalf of our entire congregation, a formal welcome to our Bucksmont Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Thank you. And now we will sing our children and to their classes for religious education, and we will return to our seats.
As you go on your way, may you be filled with gladness. Go enjoy, go enjoy. May fortune bless your day with peace and loving kindness. Go in love, go in love. As you go on your way, may you be filled with gladness. Go enjoy, go enjoy. May fortune bless your day with peace and loving kindness. Go in love, go in love.
The offering in liberal religion is a vital part of our history of faith. As a covenanted community, people who freely choose to be here, our voluntary giving is symbolic of that freedom of choice. Each week at Bucksmont, we share our offering with a different cause or organization in our community. For the month of June, we are sharing with Be a Part of the Conversation. The mission of Be a Part of the Conversation is to equip families and communities in Pennsylvania with skills and resources to understand substance use, addiction, and related health issues. They provide community programs, foster supportive connections, highlight lived experiences, and challenge stigma. At this time, I'd like to invite Kim Porter to share more about this important organization.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Kim Porter. I use she, her pronouns. I was really honored to be with you. It was just about this time last year, and I was really pleased to be able to share a sermon with you and talk about more. So today I'll keep it very brief. Thank you so very much for your support of our organization. We've been around since 11, and so 13 years now, and we predominantly raise awareness. Charlotte read our mission, which is to raise awareness about substance use, but really what we've found very organically has happened is it's family members who come to us looking for support and understanding. I'm a family member. I have a father in recovery. I have a son in recovery. I see it myself as being in recovery from the many challenges of loving people with a substance use disorder. It is a challenge, and we need each other. So in addition to those community events that we have that raise awareness and reduce stigma, we also have some services I wanted to mention. One is called Parent Partnership. These are meetings that take place similar to 12-step programs like Al-Anon and Nar-Anon, but we meet just as parents, guardians, and grandparents who are concerned about our loved one, and our child might be a teenager, or they might be in their 40s and 50s, or anywhere in between. The challenges are very similar, different stories, similar feelings and emotions that come with that. But we meet 21 times every week, 5 days a week throughout this region, either in person or on Zoom, about half and half the meetings are, and led by peers who understand it and been down this road. We also have something called the Family Recovery Course, which is a 3-part course for parents, guardians, and grandparents whose child, again at any age, has truly struggled with substance use. This is not a prevention program or an early intervention kind of thing. This is, we're dealing with full-blown addiction. And it is part 1, what happened to my loved one, part 2, what happened to me as a family member, and part 3, how can I as a family member rebuild my relationship with my child in a healthy way moving forward so that I'm really taking care of myself through this challenging time. So these are all services that are completely free to attend and participate in, so your support means the world to us. I cannot thank you enough for having me here today. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you. We ask that you participate in our morning offering in one of these ways. You can write out a check to Bucksmont and mail it into the fellowship. You may donate online now or at the end of our worship service. Or you may place your donation into one of the baskets as they are passed. We will now receive the morning offering.
Our community continues to grow and thrive due to generous donations of both time and money. For the many ways that you contribute and how it sustains this fellowship, we are truly grateful. This morning's reading is Widening Our Welcome by Jonathan Chapman. Recently, I ordered 4-foot-tall rainbow bunnies for my church. Just after I hit order, I wondered if we really needed them. Later that day, one of my parishioners sent me a picture taken in front of a local church. On the lawn was an enormous banner with a picture of the Holy Family and the message, God's marriage equals one man plus one woman. Often people ask me why my church constantly hangs banners welcoming folks, particularly the LGBTQ community. They wonder why we're always lugging out our rainbows. This is why. Because you see, every church says everyone is welcome, but many of them make that a conditional welcome. You're welcome, but not your relationship, or who you love, or how you look, or how you think, or how you believe. Most churches don't put up banners like the one I saw, but many aren't far off from sharing the same sentiment. Listen, people can think what they want and believe what they want. I don't have to agree with everyone, and they don't have to agree with me. But as long as there are congregations willing to limit God's welcome, ours will work hard to widen that welcome. And as long as there are churchgoers who question the depth of God's love, we will keep hoisting our banners and hauling our doors open that proclaim its breadth. The truth is that we will fall short, and we do. But we keep trying, because you see, there are people in the world who wonder if God could really love them, if God could love them despite who they love. And in case that's you, yes, there's no despite about it. God could love you, God does love you, and so does this fellowship.
Magic is real. And I have heard and seen and felt it. In fact, magic lies right beneath the surface of physical reality. My identity, I feel, is my magic. Like magic, identity is always just beyond physical reality, teasing us through all its difficulty to define it. It is scary at times and certainly frustrating to try and harness and use. I still don't fully understand it, and I don't think I ever will. Like magic, I think it's okay for it to be beyond my understanding. So much of the beauty of magic is that it inherently is incomprehensible. The only thing separating magic from science is the understanding of how it works, or at very least the implication that we could understand it. Magic cannot be as simple as that. It would lose its sense of intrigue and, more importantly, the core of its concept. Why is magic truly important? If I were asked what I think I am today, I would not be able to give you a concrete answer. This seems like a hindrance, and while it may feel troublesome at times, the very fact that I can say I don't know with certainty and confidence is magical. In fact, it's more than that. It's what being queer means to me. To me, to be queer is to be accepting of oneself, not regardless of uncertainty, but rather because of uncertainty. Regardless of what I am, physically or mentally, regardless of what others may perceive me as, I accept myself and whatever labels I may take on or off as I grow and change. I think it's one of the most beautiful things about people. Nobody ever stops changing. In a way, the sense of dynamic characterization is a truer measure of one's real identity. The fluidity of the self is undefinable, unheld and unholding. Making identity one static thing would rid it of its beautiful complexity of expression and evolution. I wish not to rely on the ground beneath me, a static, unchanging identity, but rather the air that carries me forward, and the love that drives me to change. Maybe that is what it means to be queer too. I have seen this magic, this ability to find stability in change. I feel as if I have been blessed by sorcerers, all queer folk who have fought to get the LGBTQIA+ community to where it is today. I've been blessed by these miracle workers with the ability to free myself from conformity through self-acceptance. I am lucky to live in a time where I am free of prosecution for self-acceptance. I've accepted that the magic within me, just like the magic within everyone, will change and grow. To me, queerness is the ability to transform one's identity and accept however it may change. My queer identity is freedom, and what a great magic that is to behold.
I was just going to say with this song, some of us old-timers may remember that the Beatles released a couple of different versions of this song, and we decided to go with the one that appeared on the so-called Double White album from 1968, and we chose that one because we thought it sounded more fun. The other one, of course, was the one that was the flip vinyl 45 RPM, remember those? Version that appeared on the flip side of the single release of Hey Jude. But that's neither here nor there. But should you become overwhelmed by a sense of nostalgia, we invite you to join with us on the show. Everybody on? Did we get down? Okay, well, I sort of hear us. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, we're gonna do the best we can. Okay. Here we go.
You say you want a revolution. Well, you know, we all want to change the world. You tell me that it's evolution. Well, you know, we all want to change the world. Then you talk about destruction. Don't you know that you can count me out? Don't you know it's gonna be alright? Alright. Alright. You say you got a real solution. Well, you know, we'd all love to see the plan. You asked me for a contribution. Well, you know, we're all doing what we can. But if you want money for people with minds that hate, I can tell you as brother, you have to wait. Don't you know it's gonna be alright? Alright. Alright. You say you'll change the Constitution. Well, you know, we all want to change your head. You tell me institution. Well, you know, you better free your mind instead. But if you go carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, you ain't gonna make it with anyone anyhow. Don't you know it's gonna be alright? Alright. Alright.
Each generation leaves an impact on us. Often we think about these being in a linear progression. The older generations create opportunities or challenges for the next generation, who then live their lives and do likewise for subsequent generations. This happens, but the story is more complicated than that, because generations overlap and create opportunities and challenges and confusion and magic for one another, all at the same time. When we think of heritage, it tends to move forward in time along with the generations. However, our age peers, those we share a generation with, shape our lives, and those younger than us shape our lives as well. Older generations stand to inherit quite a bit from those who come after them as well. It can be hard to recognize and call our attention to both that which was done before we arrived in this world, and to keep our attention open to that which is created by those we share our world with currently. When I think about Pride's origin story, which I shared earlier, the night outside the Stonewall Inn, 16 years before I was born, I didn't know those moments would be some of the most important to my life today. I have been out for just over 20 years this Thanksgiving. It will be 21 years. I've been out as a gay man for more than half my life. My coming out story had many of the tropes that seemed normal and common in the late 1990s and early 2000s. I stuck it out in the closet as much as possible in high school, went to college, and then came out during my first Thanksgiving break home my freshman year when I was 18. In conversation with many of the queer people I know of a similar age to me, this was relatively similar for most of them. Somewhere between the ages of 18 to 22, after they had left their parents' home, they came out. Now, some did so earlier, and some later, but this timeline was normalized for me as a young adult. And as I've gotten to know queer people older than me, their timelines have often been much later in life than mine and my peers. Sometimes having families, living for decades of their adulthoods before coming out, if they do at all. And as I've gotten to know queer people younger than me, the trend is moving toward younger people being able to be open about who they are, or being open about not knowing who they are, or being on a journey to knowing who they are at younger and younger ages. There is magic in these different stories and different experiences across the generations. There is hope in these stories too. In the 55 years since Stonewall, our world has changed. It has become more complex, sometimes more scary, sometimes more challenging given the changing legal landscape, school board fights, and harm done in the name of religion. And yet, the world is queerer than it was. The world remains more open to those who come out today than ever before. Whether they are younger or older, religious or not, sharing about their journeys of sexuality, relationship structures, gender, or all of these facets of their identities at once. Here I stand before you, your gay minister, voted on by this majority straight congregation almost unanimously. The world has changed, and it too is a little bit of magic. The first place I ever experienced that, a space that was clearly for gay people, was a gay bar in Minneapolis when I was 18 years old. I had only a few gay characters in television and movies to reflect on, like Will and Grace and Queer as Folk, which were part of my queer formative years. But I had never been in a space where there were hundreds of LGBTQ people all together at once, being themselves. I had lived for close to 2 decades without experiencing that feeling, and it too was a little bit of magic. I still try to visit gay bars whenever I am in a new city for this very reason. I want to know what these spaces are like in other parts of the country and other parts of the world, the ways they are similar and the ways they are unique. But they are nowhere near the only such places that exist anymore. Our queer religious places exist. LGBTQ sports leagues exist. Student groups exist. Restaurants, coffee shops, bookstores, and libraries focused on the queer community all exist. Yesterday, I went to the annual Pride flag raising in the center of Doylestown. There were people of all ages there, little kids running around, babies in strollers, teens, college students, middle-aged folks, and older folks. About 50 or 60 people gathered. Some of the older LGBTQ folks carried the pride flag down the street and to the flag pole, and then they handed it off to the queer youth that were present to be the ones to lift the flag up the pole. The older generations literally hand off the symbol of the community to the younger people. It was a little bit of magic. During the ceremony, 3 young people spoke about their experiences of pride, high schoolers and young adults. One shared that seeing the pride flag means to them acceptance. Another shared how being part of a queer youth group allows them to wake up, exist, and be content. As I was leaving, I overheard one young person say in response to learning that same-sex marriage only became legal in the entire US in 2015, "Wait, I was alive and gay marriage was illegal?" With a sound of surprise and shock that such a thing was possible in this era. This too was a little bit of magic. And a bit of hope. Because amidst the dogs running around, and the children laughing, and the parents and other adults gathered around a flagpole to lift a symbol of acceptance and pride high above our heads, there was but one person with a sign off in the corner calling for a return to what they believe the world should be without pride. Not every gathering goes that way, which is why we need the 4-foot-tall rainbow bunnies for outside churches, and pride flags in our fellowship and on our screens, and to raise flags in town squares and in business windows and wherever we can. In my lifetime, the world has changed. In the lifetimes of those of older generations, the world has changed. And in the lifetimes of those of younger generations, the world will continue to change. If we can continue to show that a world can be both uncertain and full of magic, that change will be life-giving for all of us. So may it be.
Now please rise in body or spirit in singing hymn number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are all in this together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
Let us now enter into a time of awareness within ourselves and connection beyond boundaries, connection to one another, to that interdependent web of life of which we are but one small thread. As we breathe in, we are connected. As we breathe out, we are connected. I share in gratitude these words of prayer from my colleague, from my UCC colleague, Reverend Lori Balk. Gracious God, is it the glitter? Some people think it's the glitter that makes the Pride Parade like heaven. Pearly gates and streets of gold, surely heaven has as much glitter as a Pride Parade. There's definitely enough glitter there to make a person believe that the Pride Parade is like heaven. Some people, of course, do not think the Pride Parade is like heaven. After all, who would let all these people in? Surely there's some kind of form to fill out. One must be given clearance and at least abide by the dress code. Speaking of, what is the dress code for heaven? What documentation is required? Of course, this is the strongest argument that the kingdom of heaven is like the Pride Parade. All are welcome. We don't get to decide who is in and who is out. Everybody's in. Everybody. Or maybe it's that the kingdom of heaven is like the Pride Parade because it's a protest against bigotry, against hate, against fear, a protest against being someone you aren't, against the idea that only some of us are worthy, a protest against anything that does not lift up love. That's quite the parable, isn't it? The kingdom of heaven is like the Pride Parade, where all are welcome and love wins. We'll know it by the glitter and the love. Thanks be to God. Amen. As we breathe in, we are connected. As we breathe out, we are connected. May our minds create a vision of the world radical enough to be called holy. May our actions contain the promise of hope and the commitment to justice. May our hearts remember that love is a power that resists all forms of fear. By our thoughts, by our actions, by our hearts, and by our very breath, may it be so. As part of our caring outreach to one another, we set aside a few moments to note both the sorrows and the joys in our lives. In these moments of peace and reflection, we turn our attention to one another. We hold each and all in our compassionate thoughts and the prayers of our hearts. This morning we are adding stones to water. The bowl includes some of the water we gathered as a community back in September. So it contains the love of our congregation, surrounding each joy or sorrow. As we add the stones to the bowl of water, our experiences are given weight and depth. We add a piece of our own stories to the collective waters of this community, a place that also holds the memories of those who have gone before and anticipates those who have yet to arrive. To share the joy or sorrow you would like held by our caring community, text the number that is now on screen. Please include your name along with your sharing. It is the same number no matter how you join us today, and you can add it to your contacts for future weeks. I will read them aloud, and Charlotte will add a stone to the water on your behalf. What is shared today will go out in our weekly caring notes for those who cannot be with us this morning. Please remember to include your first and last name with what you share. And now we will add a final stone for all of the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken and deep within our hearts. With stones gathered and remembrances shared, we honor our joys and our sorrows, those shared this morning, and the many, many more that exist beyond words. Through our time together, our relationships are deepened and our community made whole.
Please join us in body or spirit in singing our closing hymn, number 131, Love Will Guide Us. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the dark night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak for the thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the dark night. You are like no other precious children, to the future of the world where we live. Oh, guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the dark night. Hear the song of peace within you. Heed the song of peace in your heart. Spring's new beginning shall lead to the harvest. Love will guide us on our way. Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the dark night.
Our chalice extinguishing words this morning are from Leah Derland Jones. For those who came before us, we offer gratitude and thanks. May their memories be a blessing. May we feel surrounded by their love. As we go forth from this time and place, let us be inspired by their courage, their wisdom, and their dreams. Let us honor them by doing the work of living boldly, loving mightily, and creating heaven on earth. Amen, and blessed be.
And a reminder, after our service, we have our annual congregational picnic happening outside, so please stick around and have good food, picnics, protests, and parties. We can do it all here. As our community departs from this service, may we remember all who came before. May we imagine all who will come after. May we honor all who are present with us here and now. In our time together, we create this community, one of promise, one of commitment, one of prideful magic. In our time together, may each of us become a sanctuary for all we meet on the journey. May we go together now and return again.
As we do the postlude, if you wish to join us in the harmonies or any other bits of the song, please do. You were somebody that I don't know, but you're coming at me looking patron, and I'm just like, damn, it's 7 a.m. Say it in the street, that's a knockout, but you say it in a tweet, that's a cop-out, and I'm just like, hey, are you okay? And I ain't trying to mess with your self-expression, but I've learned a lesson, the stressing and obsessing, but somebody else is no fun. 'Cause snakes and stones never broke my bones, so you need to calm down. You're being too loud, and I'm just like, you need to just stop. Like, could you just not step on my gown? You need to calm down. You are somebody that we don't know, but you're coming at my friends like a missile. Why are you mad when you should be glad? Sunshine on the street at the parade, but you would rather be in the dark ages making that sign. Must have taken all night. You just need to take several seats and then try to restore the beats and control your urges to scream about all the people you hate. Everybody, 'cause shade never made anybody less gay. So you need to calm down. You're being too loud. And I'm just like, you need to just stop. Like, could you just not step on his gown? You need to calm down. And I see you over there on the internet, comparing all the girls who are killing it. But we figured you out. We all know now. We've all got crowns. You need to calm down. You need to calm down. You're being too loud. And I'm just like, you need to just stop. Like, could you just not step on our gowns? You need to